Hello, and today we'll be talking about violations by a New Jersey judge, violations of the Constitution of New Jersey, California, violations of the United States Constitution. We'll be talking about conspiracy to violate the Constitution. We'll be talking about bribery, extortion, and other allegations against the judge. The judge is Walter Koprowski Jr. of the New Jersey Essex County Probate Part Chancery Division. And on your screen you'll be looking at, or you are looking at, a copy of the judge's oath of office. This is an oath that every judge has to take, and we'll be reading from that oath in a few minutes. But of course, every judge has to take an oath to obey the Constitution of the United States and to act, as I'm quoting from it now, to act faithfully, impartially, and justly to the best of the judge's ability. So that's the oath in front of you, the oath signed by Walter Koprowski Jr., a public official. And we'll be reading today from documents that have been forwarded to public officials or documents that have been filed with either the Chancery Court or other courts related to this guardianship matter. This is about a guardianship matter. It's about guardianship misconduct, gross negligence of Vanessa D. Taylor, who is the court-appointed guardian, and the case number is CP 0136-2009. That's in the matter of Robert Johnson. It's in the Chancery Court, Essex County, and that is in Essex County, New Jersey. And nothing you are hearing today is intended to be legal advice. It's just one or two people's opinion and just the experiences that we have gone through. But it's not intended to be legal advice, so you shouldn't be taking it to be legal advice. Have you ever been involved in a court situation? Have you ever been involved in a court situation where you had to appeal something? Well, when you take something to an appellate court, you have about a 1% chance that you will receive a fair verdict in that court. The way the system is designed, most times the appeal courts are set up so they don't hear every single case that goes before it. So you should never be thinking that, if you lose a case or win a case, that the other side is going to take it to appeals court and have a good chance of winning, because a 1% chance is not a good chance of winning. It's sort of like if you're in shark infested waters and you're surrounded by about 15 sharks, and if you believe that one of them is not going to bite you, well, it just may be possible that one will not bite you, but the other 14, you can be pretty sure they're going to bite you. And so going before an appellate court is similar to that, in that there's just very little chance that they're going to even hear your appeal. But of course, if you're providing a vigorous and aggressive defense for your client or for yourself, you do want to take matters before the appellate court. The information you're hearing today has been released as of last week to the clerks of all surrogate courts in New Jersey. All surrogate clerks in New Jersey have been told about the misconduct and wrongful conduct of Court Clerk Tara Wilson and Judge Joseph P. Brennan. Joseph P. Brennan is the supervisor of Tara Wilson, and Judge Walter Koprowski is also the supervisor of Tara Wilson. And you'll be hearing about over this video and the next video and the next video after it about the wrongful conduct of Tara Wilson and the misfiling of documents not filed at all, documents not returned to next of kin for 6, 7, 8 months at a time, original documents received for filing but not filed by the court, etc., etc. And of course, letter after letter after letter, inquiry after inquiry after inquiry to the courts, and the courts failing to respond in a prompt or efficient manner. Guardianship abuse is a problem all across the country. And if you Google guardianship abuse or elderly financial abuse that Vanessa D. Taylor has been accused of and has admitted to in court documents, or admitted to by not responding to court documents, and of course admitted to by the definition of local rule, um, you will see that the guardianship abuse is a big problem across the country. And for one, I would like to see that there's a more aggressive stance by families to minimize the involvement of the courts, because I think the involvement of the courts has, in many cases, aggravated the next of kin situations. And of course, in this case of Judge Walter Koprowski, he has severely limited next of kin's rights, and he has acted intentionally to keep next of kin from receiving full disclosure from the guardian, who is the fiduciary of the estate. And it is uh, necessary, it is actually a law, I'm sorry, that beneficiaries are entitled to full disclosure. And every state may have a definition of beneficiary, but in New Jersey, an intended beneficiary or a beneficiary are all considered to be beneficiaries. The same word is applied to both intended or not intended. You're still beneficiary. So you're entitled to full disclosure in the state of New Jersey. And I would say that means full disclosure about the medical care, the residence, and the real property or sale of any property of the ward or the person that's been determined to be incapacitated or incompetent. So these are the duties of the guardian, some of the duties. And in this particular case, the guardian, Vanessa D. Taylor, has not been held accountable to fulfill those duties. And the judge in this matter, as well as other attorneys connected to this, James Boutelier, Lawrence N. Myerson, Shonda Floyd, they have admitted to conspiracy to violate rights. They have admitted to making false statements. And of course, they are charged with conspiracy against next of kin. So again, we're going to stop this video here, and we're going to continue this in our next video. Last, before we go to the next video, we just want to say that we ask that every American support the removal from the bench of Judge Walter Koprowski Jr. We ask that every American support and demand the removal of Vanessa D. Taylor as guardian of the estate. We ask that every American support the disbarment of Lawrence N. Myerson, James Boutelier, Shonda N. Floyd, based on their admitted misconduct, admitted false statements, admitted conspiracy to violate rights against next of kin. So we'll be talking more about this in our next video, and thank you very much for listening.